Hello and welcome back to my channel. Here I'm going to be showing you how to recreate this beautiful pink set, and I will also be keeping most of my clips in real time so you can get a better idea of what I am doing. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is make sure you clean the nails after you have already prepped them. Then we are going to be selecting the right size for each finger. So you'll notice here that I actually try on a couple of different sizes. As you get better at doing gel X, this will get easier. If you're undecided between one size or the next, just go up in size. Always choose the bigger one because you can always file to make it smaller and make it fit versus getting one that's a little too small and then it won't cover the nail plate completely. Once you have selected the nails, make sure that you also round them out at the top. Even though these are pretty good shapes, they're still not perfect. Each fingernail is different. So make sure that they are going to fit correctly. Here I am fixing the very top of the nail so that it fits the cuticle the best as possible. So you'll see that I round it out so that it matches that cuticle when I'm going to be placing it on her. So it's okay if you have to do some corrections. These nails aren't perfect and every client is different. Once you've done that, you're going to prep the nail and pay attention to how I'm doing this on the inside. I am really going to take my time on that edge of the nail where it will meet the cuticle. So I do apologize for being a little off frame here. I am not very good at YouTube at all. But you'll notice here how I take my time right there. See that? This is what allows you to create a very flush cuticle when you apply these nails. This one in another step that I'll show you guys right now. But this is very, very important. Make sure that you thin out that edge as much as possible without breaking the nail. Make sure you prep all the nails, and again, make sure that you take care of that edge for each one of them. Depending on the style of the nail, they all have different thicknesses. So just be careful and, play it by touch. Then you're gonna prep and prime the nails. Once you do that, this is just your typical prep and prime. You're going to get her nails ready for the extend gel. So we are going to apply a very thin layer of extend gel. This is very important. So you're going to grab a little bit. It's almost like putting on a nail polish. You don't want to make it really thick because you want the nails to look very nice when you apply it. The other thing too is that when you're applying this, you're not going to apply it all the way to the cuticle. Make sure that you're leaving a tiny bit of room, and I'm going to zoom in right now a little bit, but you're not applying it right at the cuticle base. You see that? There's a little bit of room there. That's the other piece to what will allow you to create a very flush cuticle when you apply the nail. So first, you want to make sure that when you're filing the inside of the nail, you are filing it as much as possible to make it thin. But then when you're applying this gel, you're going to leave a little bit of room there right by the cuticle so that it can give you a nice clean application without it flooding the cuticle and giving you a bunch of extra work to clean it up. Very, very important. Once you're all done, you're going to cure this for 30 seconds. You don't want to do more than that. And then you're going to apply the primer inside the nail and then more extend gel. So here it's the primer. And then you're going to take the extend gel. And I know that they sell it now also in like a nail polish bottle. That's perfect too. See how I make it very thin and I leave most of the gel at the top? That's very important. That helps with the application. So do a very thin layer and leave most of the gel at the top, so that when you're applying it on the nail, you have control over where that extend gel is going. So then you put that pressure at the top and you hold it with my big thumb there. Boom. So when I hold the little lamp, and I know a lot of this has changed. I recorded this video a long time ago. I just never edited. I use my finger that's holding the lamp to kind of pull it down. You can't see, but I'm holding it at the base of the cuticle with my thumb. And then I'm using my other finger where I'm holding the lamp to pull down that free edge so that you don't get any bubbles. Very important. I'm going to do this one more time. And I'm going to show you guys also what it looks like when you don't put enough extend gel, because that does cause bubbles. I did get a ton of questions about the bubbles, and sometimes it's just because you're not putting enough extend gel. So that's very important. So you'll see here the application. Hold it at the base. See how her nail turns kind of white? That's because I'm putting enough pressure. Obviously, you don't want to hurt her nail. But if it's not a perfect application, that's fine. You can always just slide it off and start again. That's not a problem. Once it looks good, go ahead and grab your lamp again with your finger. See how it lifts a little? But I push it down. See, that's what I mean. I push it down with the hand that I'm holding the lamp with so that it doesn't create any air bubbles. But if even with all that pushing down, you're still getting air bubbles, there's probably not enough extend gel. Check this one out. When I'm putting it on, there's bubbles. You see that? Even as I'm pressing down, and I did this one on purpose to show you guys. No matter how much I press down, there are still bubbles on here. So that's very important. When this happens, you just have to make sure that you add more extend gel so that this creates a very nice and even application. Once you add more gel, you'll see the difference. So it's very important to realize that you have not enough or too much. You'll get better at this, but definitely start with less. It's always easier to add more gel than to have to remove. And you'll see there's some tiny little bubbles on there. Those are okay. They're like microscopic bubbles. But it's when the bubble is so big that it will allow air in, anything like that, that you don't want it. Like the tiny little ones, I mean, those are part of the gel when you mix it up. But make sure that you have a nice clean application and that your nail is covering from side to side. Once you're all done, you're going to file. So make sure that you're filing here any little excess gel. And I always like to do this to give it a nice and clean cuticle. Now I am going to slow this down for you guys a bit so you can see that there is no gel actually stuck to her cuticle. This is very important because when it sticks, it might look nice when they walk out, but as they start growing out, it won't look cute. So see how as I push here, her cuticle lifts very nicely. You'll see right now, that means that it's not stuck to the nail. Look at that. You see that? It just pushes back. And you want to be able to create that without getting any gel on her cuticle. That's what will create the lifting and all that stuff. So when you leave that little distance in the gel, and then even when you apply the nail, you don't want to tuck it all the way under the cuticle because then your lamp won't cure it all the way. Very, very important. Once you're done cleaning it up, please file these nails. These nails already have a beautiful shape, but it's not perfect. And everybody's nail bed is different. So you need to go back and file, especially those sides, right? Those side walls, so that the nails don't look thick. Because once you add polish, if they look a little bit thick, then you add more polish, they're just gonna look really bulky. And you don't want to have bulky nails. They're not pretty. And then if you have excess gel at the bottom there, go ahead and file it off. This is what would happen to me a lot at the beginning. Like I said, I recorded this video over a year and a half ago. So just clean it up. As you get better with it, it's less and less gel that you have there. And after a while, you won't even have to clean anything off because you'll have the right amount of gel on your extension before you place it on the person. This is a completely step, there we go, that you can remove. You do not need this. I do this because I like it. I don't know, it's weird. But you don't need this. I always buff the nail before I polish, but you can just wipe it with acetone. Because what I do is I buff the nail and then I wipe it with acetone. So it kind of defeats the purpose. You don't have to do this step. I just got used to doing it when I was doing acrylics. So I always just use this step anyway. But after this, you're gonna wipe it with acetone, and then it's gonna be ready for polish. So just, I did speed up this section. Just go ahead and enjoy. You're just gonna do some cute polishes there, layer 1, layer 2, and yeah, enjoy. If you guys have any questions, please leave them below. I try to answer as many as I can. I tried to answer some of the most common questions that I got here. The other thing too is that people do ask me if you can do a fill on these. You do not do a fill on these. These are made from soft gel. You can easily remove them, so there's no need for you to do a fill. It's a lot easier to remove it and do a brand new set than to try and do a fill. So most definitely do not need it. So enjoy. Once again, if you have any questions, anything like that, let me know. You can purchase the kits directly from Opera, or there are some other stores that sell them. But other than that, enjoy.